You're on the John Fredericks Radio Network and the John Fredericks Radio apps, and I am your Godzilla of the truth in America, your oracle of the deplorables. Hey, thanks for being with me today. I am off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll see you back on Monday. Great to have you with us. Time for a little JF break. Love you guys, but even Godzilla needs a few days off. So filling in for me tomorrow will be Killer Carl. 6 to 8, you know, he has a show every Saturday, 7 to 8 a.m. on the John Fredericks Media Network. So he gets up early, up and at him with Carl on Saturday, ready to rock and roll. And then he'll be filling in for me 6 to 8. And then the indelible Phil Klein, Professor Phil Klein, 8 to 10. And then yay, rah, rah. We're off Thursday, Friday, and I'll be back on Monday. And it's great to have you guys with us today. As always, place your calls, 888-480-JOHN. You know, you go through social media. And I tell you, today was this morning when I get up, obviously I prepare for my show, as Tyler knows. And because I can't do it at night. Like last night, I went to bed before kickoff of the football game. I bet the Niners minus, I think I laid 7.5. They won. So yay, get a little jack going into Thanksgiving Day games, where Thanksgiving Day games, I don't even have to think. Because for, what am I, 67? Since I'm 17 or 16 probably, because I was gambling when I was 15 or 16 with bookmakers. Don't even ask. Probably 17, right? So 67. So for 50 years, I've bet the same bets on Thanksgiving Day, every Thanksgiving Day. I bet the Lions and Dallas. I don't care who they're playing, what their record is, or what the spread is. I bet them every year, same thing. Why stop now? So I'm going to do the same thing. And there's no analysis that goes behind it. Trust me. That's just it's a tradition. That's what I bet. So I bet 2 hockey games last night. I went 1 for 2. Rangers bailed me out. Anyway, it's great to have you with us. I'm scrolling through today, get ready for my show. And I'm thinking to myself, I longed for the days of no social media. Can you believe it? It's like things were just so much, I don't know what the word is, and not calmer. They were just much more non-combative. I mean, you read through this stuff and everybody hates everybody. It's just, this country is so full of hate on social media. And you can understand why Zen girls are depressed. And I think there was a study out saying that, it's the highest rate ever of teenage girls in depression. And I believe it. I mean, it's just the hate is all over the place. And it's sad, we're never going to put this thing back together, ever. There is no way. I mean, the hatred for President Trump and his supporters like me is so deep and so ingrained and so nasty. We got some clips today. One Maxine Waters calling him a filthy, dirty animal. I mean, it's just the president of the United States. And these guys that did the sedition and the people defending them. I mean, it just goes on. And so here we go. We're going into Thanksgiving, trying to put our families together, trying to have a nice time. And the negativity is so ingrained now in people, and the hatred on both sides. And there is really no putting this back together. And I commend now the president, as I look back on the Madani thing. I think it was a really smart move. And it was very uncomfortable when he did it. And my first reaction was nausea, because, the guy's a communist and he's an Islamist jihadist and he was hanging out with terrorists, and the whole thing is gross. But look, I think this is what President Trump did. He set this guy up to fail. And look, he wants him to be successful. He wants him to be the president of all. He wants to be the president of all people. They elected Madani. Hope he's successful. Now, he's not going to be. We all know that. We all know it's going to be a failure beyond your wildest imaginations. But look, the president trying to do the right thing. I'm the president of all people, not just the MAGA base. And so I think that might end up being a good thing. We'll see. But as I said before, we need a MAGA Madani. I think without that, you're losing ground to these guys, because their message resonated. And I think the president and the White House got that. Like, their message of affordability resonated. People want prices lower. They want to be able to afford things, and they want to be able to have opportunity. Now, he's not going to bring you any because he's just for giving stuff away again, which is just to the next level of Bernie Sanders and AOC and everything else. It's the next level of freebies. And you look at the fraud and abuse going on in the country. I mean, it is unbelievable. You look at the Minnesota situation, the hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of stolen taxpayer money by the Somalian enterprise in there is unbelievable. And nobody will do anything about it because they're all scared. So they're all saying, go ahead and steal it. I mean, we got a clip coming up at the end here. In fact, Tyler, if you can get it, I think it was the last one that I sent you. I'll have to get it here. But it was basically a report by ABC News out there saying when Walsh put this program together in Minneapolis, like there were no safeguards. Like anybody could just go in and apply for this. Anybody. It's kind of like voting in Washington, D.C. You don't need anything. And if you're, I understand here, I've never voted here in person. I vote by mail, but I understand if you go in and show your license, like the people that are monitoring the vote there, it's like they're Dracula and you took out the crucifix. Oh, ID. That's what people have told me. It's crazy. It's great. Now I got Swalwell, whatever his name is, the communist in California. He wants to vote by phone. Let's just have fraud beyond. We have enough fraud now. Let's just vote by phone. So you just grab somebody's phone and vote. I mean, it's just nuts. These people are so insane. And a lot of people freaked out about the midterms. A lot of them are freaked out. I'm not. We got a special election Tuesday, and we're going to try to get some of those candidates on Monday because I'm off the rest of the week. But we got a special coming up on Tuesday in Tennessee, and Trump won that by 20. Democrats are saying they have a chance for an upset. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. I am confident. Look, we have a year. We have a year. You know what can happen in a year? A lot. We have a year. We have a year to get our act together. First thing we need to do is we need to fix Obamacare. And first thing we need to do before we fix Obamacare is not get people's rates going up 300% on January 3rd. That is a prescription to lose the midterms. The most important thing that we can do, and let me just lay it out, is we have to get rid of the Senate filibuster. We have to get rid of that in January because they're going to shut the government down again. Because look how successful they were. Trump's approval rating after the shutdown, even though people didn't blame him for it, his approval rating plummeted by 12 points. It just plummeted because people don't like the government shutdown. They don't know who to blame. He's building golden towers or something, so they blame him. And so his approval rating tanks. Why go through this again? Doesn't make any sense. Do the filibuster, pass your legislation, get stuff done. You want to get reelected, you want to keep power, get stuff done. Yesterday at the White House, we didn't have a press conference, but Caroline Leavitt had a gaggle, which when they say a gaggle, that means they'll say she had a gaggle at the sticks. And so what that means is when you go into the White House press area, you go through the gate, you have to have a hard pass to do that, or you have to be signed in, you go through the gate. There's what they call Pebble Beach, which is all the tents, which are little, narrow tents, which are all the NBC, ABC, MSNBC, CBS, all that stuff, CNN, Fox News. They got all those. OAN actually has one as well. So they go through that, and then right on the road before you go into the press area, they'll set microphones up and they'll do what is called a gaggle. So Caroline Leavitt had an interview with Fox News, and then they said she was going to gaggle. So we all gathered around the microphones and asked questions. So it's kind of like an impromptu press conference without, 150 people. There's maybe 25 that happened to be in the press pool that day. I was one of them. Now, here are some takeaways from the gaggle outside. Number one, on Lindsay Halligan. Leavitt defended Halligan as being legally appointed. Remember, the Comey case and the Letitia James case got thrown out, and the judge said that Halligan was illegally appointed and had no right for the job, also blasted her inability to execute her duties, saying that she was unqualified. So yesterday, Leavitt said she was extremely qualified to act as interim U.S. attorney, and the Department of Justice, she said, will soon be appealing the federal judge ruling, calling her appointment invalid. So they're going to appeal that, not the decision to throw the case out. And then they're going to then follow that up with resubmitting the case against Comey and James. Now, on the Ukraine POTUS peace plan, here's what you're getting. You're getting all the neocons running around, and the Democrats. See, the Democrats, they used to be for peace. Now they're for anything that Trump's doing, they're against it. See, they have to be for peace. Remember when I grew up, Vietnam, right? Democrats wanted peace. Now they want war. Now they want, carnage. But you got all the neocons blasting this deal. If you heard the ambassador to Ukraine yesterday on my show for an hour, did that look like a diplomat for Ukraine? Did that sound like somebody that wanted this war to continue? Did you listen or see that interview? Call me if you did. Tell me what you thought of it. Did that look like somebody that wanted to continue this war? I don't think so. I mean, I didn't ask her the direct question because you have to be careful, because this thing was being broadcast live back to Kiev. So you got to be careful. You don't want to put her in an uncomfortable position where she's going to go, she's going to have to go either for or against her government. So you ask questions to get an inference, and they want peace. You can't watch that interview and tell me they want to continue this war. Okay, they're looking for a way out. And so who are we to say it's a capitulation? Why don't you bring your kids over there and let them die on a barren wheat field? Shut up and get out of my face. All of you people, Gingrich included, shut up and get out of my face. Let your grandkids go there and die on that wheat field, get blown up by a drone. Go ahead, do it. Other than that, shut up. They want peace. And President Trump wants peace. On the Ukraine POTUS peace plan, she said there is currently no meeting scheduled for President Trump and Zelensky to meet. Zelensky's meeting back channel. Leavitt also said the White House feels very optimistic about the president's proposed peace plan to end the war. And she said that the plan has both input from Russia, Ukraine, as well as the Europeans. That's what she said. She also dismissed criticism of the plan by some GOP senators. She said that the idea that the United States of America is not engaging with both sides equally in this war to bring it to an end is complete and total fallacy. She also said that President Trump and his negotiators were putting an equal amount of pressure on both sides. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. On China, Leavitt yesterday mirrored topics of the conversation between Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping as he put out his Truth Social today. And let's see, the war in Ukraine. She said the war in Ukraine came up. This is with the phone call with Xi, and she said the talks were focused on trade. Now, she ended with a couple of things on Mandami. Leavitt said the talk is cheap. And when asked about the New York City mayor-elect doubling down on Trump calling a fascist after they met on Friday, she dismissed it and said he can say whatever he wants. It's going to be up to what he does and what results he gets, which we both know will fail. And she also stood by the fact that she thought that the meeting with Mandami was positive, and she said the president is going to judge Mandami by his actions that he takes in New York. So that was the gaggle yesterday. Lots going on. Before I get to the phone lines, I do want to get to Tyler. I think this was the last one I sent, but let me just check here because I didn't get it off my laptop. Yeah, let's go to 10. This is ABC. Minnesota officials said that Minnesota officials did not complete a required security review that determines who is eligible to receive SNAP. So basically, you just went in there and got it. It didn't matter who you were. You just went in there and got a SNAP eligibility. You didn't have to present anything. No income, no nothing. Just go in there. Hey, I want SNAP. No ID. Just, I want a SNAP card. Here's $300. And then somebody says, oh, I'm feeding 1,000 homeless a day. And the guy had a little tiny store. He couldn't feed 5 people a day. He got $10 million pocketed. It's unbelievable. But Ilhan Omar and the community is defending it, saying, yeah, a little fraud never hurt anybody. Because it's our money. See, they come here from another country, and when they steal our money, they laugh their asses off because we are too stupid and feckless and cowardly to do anything about it. And that's really what this is. They're afraid of the Somalis, of the gangs, and of their voters and what they've done there. They're petrified of them. So they just go ahead and let them steal your money. Just steal it. As long as you keep voting for me, you can steal the money. Unfriggin' believable. 10, roll it. Take a listen.
Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. The program distributes nearly $70 million in benefits each month in Minnesota alone. Well, 5 Investigates has uncovered audits that show the state did not perform required security checks of the computer system that determines who is eligible to receive this money. It is a discovery that has SNAP recipients like Mateo Halbesleben worried about the safety of his personal data.
Can you believe what country do we live in? What country do we live in? See, they're not Americans. They're Somalis. The sheriff said, I'm here to defend Somalians. Their representative in Congress, who they voted in, said, Somalia first. And so they're letting Somalians steal your money and laughing their ass off because they don't care, because they're not Americans. Don't you get it? Don't you get these Muslim mayors, what is happening here? The country is being invaded. And we're sitting around not doing a damn thing about it, afraid of our own shadow. Unfriggin' believable. I'm going to take a short break. Your calls when I get back. Stay with us.